Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Be Elite Live. My name is Bart, and today I am going to talk specifically to the men. I know I speak a lot about women's health, but today I'm going to talk about how men can increase testosterone naturally. Okay, so some of the things we're going to look at, I'm going to cover about four major things that will help you increase free testosterone. Okay, so number one, the most powerful thing you can do to increase testosterone is work on your sleep and sleep quality. Okay, so number one, you got to make sure the most powerful thing is going to bed by 10:30. Now, some of you may go, what? That's not practical at all. But, you know, even if you pick 3 days, 4 days in the week and start with that, where you're going to bed by 10:30, maybe you start winding down by 10 and you're in bed by 10:30. But that is extremely critical. That is the number one thing you can do that will increase testosterone, okay? Without having to take anything, without having to change too much in your life, but prioritizing and going to bed earlier. You can always wake up earlier. A lot of people say, you know what, I have to work late into the nights. And sure, you could do that, or you could go to bed early and wake up early. So even if you woke up by 4 a.m. and start doing work, you can still make sure you get deep, good quality sleep, because a lot of functions start happening as soon as the sun sets, which is usually about 7 p.m., 6 p.m., earlier now, but although we can't all go to bed by 7 p.m., 10 p.m. is pretty reasonable because it'll make sure you still get through a lot of repair, nervous system repair, physical repair. A lot of hormones get optimized when you're getting deep sleep from 10 p.m. onwards. So the most powerful thing, sleep. Okay, a couple of things you can also do to improve your sleep quality. Make sure you're sleeping in a pitch black room. So, you know, think that you're Batman and you're sleeping in a Batcave. Number one thing, dark room. Number two, electronics. Turn off electronics, lights, especially cell phones, and I'll talk about that next. But turn those off 30 minutes before bed, because those are things that stimulate your nervous system and they don't let your system sleep. So you may fall asleep, you're falling asleep, but your mind is still trying to connect to these electronics or processing information from these electronics. So those are two really important things. I would also encourage you, try meditation, try doing certain forms of yoga that help you sleep deeper. So like I said, number one, work on your sleep. That's the most powerful thing you can do to increase your testosterone. So even if you didn't listen to the rest of this podcast, if you work on your sleep, I promise you within 4 to 6 weeks, your testosterone will be higher. So moving on to the second one, like I mentioned before, is electronics. Okay, we're very hooked onto electronics. I'm guilty of that. But some of the things you can do is, you could minimize, but also try, you know, guys especially, try not to keep your cell phones in your pocket by your hip. Okay, the radiation is known to actually reduce fertility and reduce testosterone. A lot of guys, and women too, carry their cell phones when they're training, usually for music. That actually makes you weaker in the gym. It actually shuts down a lot of muscles. And I guarantee if you want to test this out, you can test this out as well. Train without your cell phone versus training with it on you, and you will see a difference in your muscle strength or muscle power or muscle endurance or all of them. So minimize use of cell phones. Laptops is a big one. I see this all the time. Yes, they're called laptops, but please don't put them on your laps. Men, you're burning your balls. It is reducing your testosterone and sperm count. Okay, so keep electronics away from you. Do your best to minimize them. Some of the things that I used to do, I should get back to it, is set different times where you use your cell phone or check your emails. So you have a set schedule where, okay, these are times in the day when I check my cell phone or use my cell phone. So definitely another very important thing, electromagnetic radiation, minimize that. Okay. Number three, and I say this in almost every podcast for no matter what the issue is manage your stress, especially coming from inflammation. Okay. So I'm going to talk about inflammation and stress a little together. So inflammation and stress will reduce your testosterone. Why? Because you're always blasting cortisol. The same raw materials that make cortisol will make testosterone. So if you're constantly releasing a lot of cortisol, your stress hormone, you cannot make enough testosterone. Okay, so minimize, work on regulating your stress hormone, minimize inflammation, become more alkaline. Okay, and if you look at some of my other videos, I've given ideas of how to reduce inflammation, how to become more alkaline. If you have specific questions about that, please feel free to message me. I'll talk about that. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Damien, Georgia, TJ, William, what's up, buddy? Going back to the next way to increase testosterone naturally, let's look at nutrients. Okay, so like I said before, reduce inflammation, regulate your stress. These are things that help reduce your stress hormones so that you can actually make more testosterone. So let's look at some supplements. Number one thing that you should be taking, and this is something that goes across the board, almost everybody I've worked with is deficient in zinc. So number one supplement you want to start taking, especially to make testosterone and reduce cortisol, is zinc. Okay. Number two, taking something that reduces inflammation, reduces your stress hormone, and regulates your stress hormone. Okay. So I want to make life simple for myself and my clients. So currently, my most powerful supplement that I've been using is called Kiani. It's called Sunrise by Kiani. I love this thing. I'll then tell you why exactly. It's got a bunch of power superfoods in there. Okay, so obviously it provides a lot of antioxidants. It helps me reduce inflammation, and like I said, inflammation is a big cause of reducing your testosterone. So helps reduce inflammation. It also contains taurine and L-theanine, which are amazing for relaxation. So it actually relaxes your nervous system, which sends a signal to your cortisol to not be that high. Okay. Also, it's got ashwagandha, which in one of my last podcasts I mentioned is a very powerful adaptogen, so that if your stress hormone's going very high, it brings it to normal. If your stress hormone's too low, it actually brings it back to normal. So ashwagandha is one of the most powerful adaptogens that you can use. Also, there's a lot of research showing adaptogens like ashwagandha increase testosterone. And like I said, that's what we're trying to do here, is reduce stress, increase testosterone. Lastly, it also contains grapeseed extract, which is known to reduce aromatization. Aromatization is where testosterone gets converted to estrogen at a very high rate. What that does, it increases the risk of prostate cancer, breast cancer, and if you look at physical system, hey Miguel, what's up, buddy? It actually will reduce body fat around the pec for men or women. Okay, especially for men, it's if you're storing a lot of body fat around your chest, zinc and grapeseed extract are extremely important. So these are some of the reasons why I love Kiani Sunrise, is because it's got all of that in here. So I don't have to take 4 different supplements. I can just take that. Of course, depending on the person, you may need more than 1 packet a day. Right now, going through a lot of stress, I'm taking about 2 to 3 a day. So you may need more dosage, more higher content of these nutrients, but it's one simple supplement, and you get a lot of different ingredients that work in reducing inflammation, releasing more testosterone, reducing stress, and reducing aromatization. So, and lastly, after all this, if you want something that actually boosts testosterone directly, it's a great supplement called Tongkat Ali, or it's also called as Eurycoma. Eurycoma. Excellent. It is the one thing besides Tribulus. A lot of people take Tribulus, but personally, I don't find it working that well. But whenever I have used Tongkat Ali or Eurycoma, they're the same thing, and I've given it to clients, I see an instant change in stress and testosterone, both those hormones. So just to recap, number one way of increasing your testosterone: go to bed early. Okay, so try to sleep by 10:30. That is the most powerful thing you can do to increase testosterone. Okay. Number 2, reduce or limit the use of electromagnetic radiation, things like cell phones, laptops. Do your best to reduce usage. Okay, do not keep it on you. Don't keep it on your body. Number 3, reduce inflammation, reduce stress hormone. Okay. Number 4, let's look at nutrients. Zinc, adaptogens, antioxidants like Kiani Sunrise. I'll actually put the link and I'll write down these supplements in under this as a reply to this video, so you guys can refer or even you can make your purchase. And last one is Uricoma or Tongkat Ali. So those are 4 ways that you can increase testosterone naturally. Hope you enjoyed this podcast and hope you guys have an awesome day. Take care.